Hello everyone and welcome to MTG Compulsive Research, where we bring you the best insights into the European Magic card finance market. In today's episode, we're looking at the top cards that have increased in value over the past 7 days. At the end of the video, we'll tell you about our top picks for the week and the cards we're looking to pick up now. As we're focused on the European market, all prices will be in euros unless otherwise stated. Okay, let's get started and have a look at this week's risers. Our first big mover this week is Maze's End from Dragon's Maze. This is a land. Maze's End enters the battlefield tapped. Tap and add 1 generic mana to your mana pool. Pay 3 and tap, return Maze's End to its owner's hand, search your library for a gate card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. If you control 10 or more gates with different names, you win the game. In the US market, we've seen this card jump from $2.40 to $12.50 this week. The reason for this is that Maze's End is showing up in decks in Pioneer and putting up some really great results. Maze's End is a single printing mythic from a pretty old set now, although this was also the pre-release from the set as well. In the European market, we're also seeing a spike in this card, with copies jumping from €2 to around €7. There are very few English language copies available on MKM. However, the supply of the pre-release foil runs much deeper, with prices starting from around €6. So if you're interested in this card, that might be something that you might consider. Next up is Time Sieve, a converted mana cost 2 artifact. Tap, sacrifice 5 artifacts, take an extra turn after this one. From Alara Reborn, this card has jumped from $3.50 to $16.50. New Capenna has brought a lot of treasure support, and this has made this artifact very easy to activate in EDH. In particular, the new Esper commander, Tivit, produces treasure and clue tokens, both of which can be used to activate Time Sieve. In the European market, there's some movement, but plenty of copies available for around €1, so it's probably worth picking up now if you want it for a deck, but bear in mind it is easily reprintable. Next up is Wargate, a converted mana cost 3 with a variable X cost sorcery. Search your library for a permanent card with converted mana cost X or less. Put it into play, then shuffle your library. Again, from Alara Reborn, this has jumped from $9 to around $19.50 in the US market. The reason for this jump is that it's primarily seeing play in the Tamishi combo deck in Modern. This is a new combo deck that uses Tamishi Reality Architect to loop Lotus Bloom to make mana and bounce lands, and then play Cultivator Colossus to put lands back into play and draw cards until you hit Finale of Devastation to give all your creatures +X and haste. In the European market, this card has now also spiked from around €1 jumping up to €8. So, what are we interested in picking up this week? Our first pickup this week is Takuma Abandoned Maya from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, the full art version. Currently priced on MKM for around €7. We're particularly interested in this card because it's showing up in over 16,000 decks on EDH Rec. Now, when you compare that with Bozuju Who Endures, this is a card that's in around 20,000 decks and it's priced at around €30. So we think this card could be undervalued. Even though Bozuju sees more modern play, this price disparity seems too high, especially as Takuma is seeing play in Rakdos builds in Modern and indeed in Pioneer. We would expect to see this card to start moving up towards the €10 to €15 mark. We've selected the extended art version, but depending on personal preference, the alt art version is likely to see the same price movement. Our next pick is Narset, Parter of the Vales from War of the Spark, the Japanese version. Currently priced on MKM at around €11. Our interest in this card comes from the fact that Pioneer is steadily picking up in popularity, and therefore Narset might increase in value. It's currently the 6th most played card in Pioneer, according to MTG Goldfish, as well as showing up in around 58,000 decks on EDH Rec. The regular version of the card is available for around 50 cents, which is also probably too cheap, but we're specifically looking at the Japanese alt art version. The stained glass version is over €60 and is only available in foil, which might put some people off. Our final pick this week is Hellkite Tyrant from Strixhaven Commander. This is currently priced on MKM at €6. We've picked Hellkite because New Capenna is introducing a host of new treasure-based cards to Commander, and Hellkite Tyrant benefits from having a large number of artifacts on the battlefield. As well as having the potential to win games out of nowhere, it also prevents your opponents from hoarding treasure tokens. This was recently reprinted in the Strixhaven Commander sets, which has kept the price reasonable, but now is the time to pick up copies for your deck, and prices are already on the move. And that takes us to the end of this week's episode. Let us know your thoughts on this week's big movers in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll bring you a weekly update on MTG Finance.